Welcome to EDSC 440S General Pedagogy in Secondary Schools. I think you're going to really like this class because it's not just theory. It's the combination of theory and practice. In fact, the intersection of that. There's actually a word for that. It's called praxis. So it's going to be utilizing all the theory that you've learned in many of the other classes, but then integrating it into practice. Practices of getting to know students or the community in which the students are in. Instructional planning or assessments, whether it be formative assessment, summative assessments, how you engage students, and also teacher professionalism. So the scope of this course is going to include the big seven. So let me go ahead and share what the big seven are. The first is the My Story assignment. Before we even begin, I want to know your story. So it'll be an opportunity for you to share your story with me and for you to share your story with one another. One thing you're going to notice about this course is it's not just about you and the curriculum, it's us as a community of learners. And you're going to be a part of this community, interacting with one another, and through that we're going to construct meaning about what pedagogy means for us. Number two is reading facilitation. So every week, one thing that you can expect in our course, our 440S course, is there'll be opportunities to read various articles that challenge our thinking around justice, around equity, around inclusion. And you will actually be the ones facilitating these discussions in small groups. And through that, we're going to continue to grow in our understanding. So I'm excited for you to lead in this way. And I hope that as you're practicing not only the leading in our class, that will translate to you leading outside of our class as well. I think oftentimes student teachers, new teachers start the field and they're thinking maybe they don't know as much as others. But I challenge you, and I really believe that as you're coming in, you're bringing something special to the field. There's going to be new insights that you have that is going to benefit education as well. And when it comes to a focus and lens, especially at Cal State Fullerton and our thought and lens on justice, equity, and inclusion, not all programs have this kind of lens. And so you're not only having something special for here in Fullerton or here in Orange County, but it has implications abroad as well, beyond just our county. So you are receiving this special opportunity. I want you to develop that, and then I want you to share that with others. And you're going to have multiple opportunities to lead as you participate in reading facilitation. In addition, you're going to be weekly creating reflective teaching vlogs. We're going to have some vlog opportunity as well every week where I want you to reflect on what it is that you're learning. But through that process of you speaking, I think what you're going to find is you're going to find also your voice to articulate your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs in a safe place, in a community of people. Every week, you're going to also receive feedback from one another on your thoughts as well. So that's 3. Number 4 and number 5 is a micro-teaching activity. So when it comes to teaching, what's important is teaching, right? So what practices allow us to be more just, allow us to be more equitable, allow us to be more inclusive? And we have to be intentional about this when we're teaching. We can't just be like, oh, that will just happen. Because it hasn't been happening as much as we want, we have to be very intentional about it. So we're going to intentionally incorporate those strategies that grow that equity, that grow the justice, that grow the inclusion. We're going to embed that into our strategies, and we're going to have opportunities in teams and collaboration. And that's what's going to happen in the second half of the class. A lot of the second half of the class is going to be a lot of collaboration, planning, working together on these lessons, and also, of course, listening to one another as we present these lessons as well. These first 5 activities will then lead to the 6th activity, assignment number 6, which is the in-moment teaching practice. And in this lesson, it's a little bit more bigger in scope, where you're going to write out the entire lesson plan. You're going to actually teach this lesson that you had planned, also video recording yourself, and then in that space, what kind of decisions have you made in the moment, especially in the moment, pedagogical decisions that are being made in that moment? Because oftentimes when we're teaching, yes, we make the plan, yes, we do the planning, but oftentimes in the midst of instruction happening, as we're formatively assessing, as we're looking around and seeing the students, as we're reflecting on our own practices, we're making some minute changes here and there in the moment. What are those decisions that you made to enhance the inclusivity, the equity, the justice? And then you'll, of course, be reflecting on that I kind of see this a little bit like art or jazz. You kind of begin the process, right? And as you're beginning the process, maybe in your mind you had, oh yeah, it will be like this. But then in the context of everything happening around you, it's giving you inspiration to kind of move in a direction, and perhaps a direction that you have not conceived of previously. And then finally, of the big 7, this is the 7th, is an auditing the self, yourself. You've probably heard the phrase like check yourself, right? So it's kind of like checking yourself as you kind of go through all these activities. It's a reflective piece where you're really thinking about your own pedagogy, your practice, and I think you're going to see some change in the 16 weeks that we're together. Every week there's going to be incremental changes in yourself. What are those? And thinking about that metacognitive process of how you're incorporating more universal design for learning, or integrating that lens to be just, equitable, or inclusive. And then of course showing evidence of where you see those changes happening from the 6 previous assignments. If you want to get a little preview on just and ideas of growing in some of these practices, I do have a Ed Family YouTube channel where I have a playlist on ethnic studies, a playlist on classroom management, a playlist on civic engagement, and more. But in the meantime, I'm thinking about you guys and excited for this next semester. 440S. Dr. Kim signing out.